I got couples massages last night on a second date, and I have to say that is the weirdest second date I've ever been on, but 10 out of 10.
My name's Clara, and I am a leftover woman. This notion that women exist to be attractive to men and exist solely to find a partner so that they can be rescued and looked after is a load of rubbish.
Yo, what is going on, guys? So on today's episode, we have a video here from Locke the Bounty Hunter. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. And we are going to be kicking it off with this woman who is frustrated that she is being called a leftover woman because she is still single, presumably in her 30s. Let's jump in.
My name's Clara, and I am a leftover woman. Notion that women exist to be attractive to men and exist solely to find a partner so that they can be rescued and looked after is a load of rubbish. It might have been true at one point, but only because women had no other choice.
What does that even mean?
I find it kind of sad that I have to be the one to break this to you, sister, but you're the ones who are expecting men to rescue you. You flood the internet with all sorts of videos complaining about your loneliness, about how you can't find any good men, and how freezing your eggs did nothing but completely destroy your already pathetic credit score. In fact, you won't shut up about those. The reason why you're left over is because despite the men who were clearly willing to settle for less, you thought you were better than them and deserving of more, and judging from your classic case of insecure British smile syndrome, I think I can safely say that probably wasn't the best move on your part, sweetheart. But that was your choice. And how's that choice working out for you? You're trying to convince yourself that your life is better off because you don't have a guy, but we all know the truth, and that truth is your life is one endless blur of going to work, coming home, going to a club to get drunk, passing out, waking up, and going back to work over and over and over again. And if that doesn't spell human happiness, then I'm kind of glad, because that sounds like a fairly crappy way to live a life.
I can tell you now that I give zero whether I am attractive to men or not. What I care about is my own mental health, my own well-being, my career, and creating a life that I can be proud of, that I can enjoy.
And see, that is exactly why you are single. Okay, I couldn't have said it better myself. So many of these women, they want to be strong and independent. I don't need no man. Okay, and then what happens is they get to 35, 40, and all of a sudden it's them asking to be rescued. It's not actually men asking to rescue these women. These women go out here, they think that they're strong, independent, you know, career boss babes, and then they get to 40 and they don't want to work the rest of their life, so they frantically try and get a guy. They're grasping at straws, you know, why can't I find a man? Where have all the good men gone? I'm going to shame them and all of this sort of stuff. It's actually the women who are being asked, who are asking goodness to be saved.
That I can have fun within, and that makes me happy. Imagine that. And if that means that I must live out the rest of my days as a leftover woman, then I would rather be leftovers than be with a like you.
Yeah, I mean, your wish is granted, madam. I see no issue with this. Perhaps we will continue to monitor your social media, and we'll pull up the video clip in a couple of years' time where you're crying about how there are no good men and that you just want to settle down. Because this is the story of so many of these modern women who make these videos. They say, I'm strong and independent, I don't need no man. But then, you know, when the time's almost up, we start to see videos of them crying because all of their friends are married and they still can't find a single guy that they like to actually have a relationship with them.
What we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you're telling me everything.
I've come to learn if there's one indicator that a leftover woman is completely happy and proud of her mental health and career, it involves coming up with one of the most basic, uninspired, and boring insults imaginable towards a random dude for saying that her life is nothing to be proud of. Woman, if you were proud and satisfied with your life, you wouldn't bother going online to brag about how great your life is. You'd be too busy living your best life as a strong and independent boss boss bay yas queen. But instead, you put on an unflattering dress that stopped fitting 4 years ago, throw on a bunch of makeup to hide your painfully obvious face wrinkles, and showed off your terrible impulse control issues by making sure your arm tattoos were on full display. None of these things show happiness. Think about it. If you were totally fine with your life, you wouldn't feel the need to waste your life making the video because you'd be too busy spending that time doing something meaningful. But nope, you done screwed up.
You blew it. Capiche?
If you're going on a first date, here are the rules you need to follow. First things first, if he doesn't give you details about your date in advance, sis, you are not going on that date. You should not be asking the day of what the plans are for the date. If he really wants to go on the date with you, he will have details planned in advance and he'll let you know. Make sure he opens the door for you. Because if he doesn't open the door for you, huge red flag. These are just basic manners that seem to be forgotten nowadays. If he offers to take you to a bar for drinks, big no. You're a lady and you should be going to dinner. You can learn so much from a dinner date.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Here we go again with the doors. Do women just assume that doors open a portal to an alternate dimension where the service industry was taken over by ninjas thanks to an oversaturation of the ninja market? I suppose that could be a little off-putting to have your omelet prepared by a shadow assassin, but how many times has that happened in this dimension's history? What, once? Maybe twice? Besides, so long as you don't dishonor their supreme leader, Master Joe Pantoliano, then you've got nothing to worry about. And I really don't understand how you expect a man to be gentlemanly while writing up an itinerary for your date while demanding a free plate of food.
Yeah, see, the problem with videos like this is that there is nothing ladylike about these videos, right? They sit here and they say, listen, I want a man who's chivalrous. I want a man who's going to take me out on dates, plan everything, open my door, pay for everything, you know, give me his jumper, okay, hold the umbrella so I don't get rained on, stand on the outside of the footpath, right? They want all of this ladylike treatment, and then they'll yell at you about how much of a lady they are. Well, look at me, I'm a lady. Why won't you do these things for me? But the problem is they're not ladies, okay? Ladies don't make TikTok videos putting on 3 pounds of makeup. They're not incredibly masculine. They don't instruct men on what to do. Okay, men are actually fine giving this chivalrous treatment, but they're not going to give chivalry to women who don't deserve chivalry. Right? All of these girls, they think that they're entitled to this behavior from men. It's actually crazy.
Believe it or not, a man can learn a lot about a woman when planning a date, and he's not going to be motivated to be gentlemanly if you're not going to be ladylike. And if that's how you want to act, that's fine. You can fend off your own stupid interdimensional short order cook ninjas.
This is probably the biggest red flag out of them all for me, is if he pressures you and really tries to push you to spend the night. You are worth more than a one night stand, honey. Oh, and the obvious, if he asks to split the check. At this point, if he asks to split the check, just pay for the whole check and emasculate the f out of him and just never talk to him again. If you do happen to go up to his place, first things first, you always go to the bathroom and check under the cupboards. Because the bathroom, all the secrets of a man's life is in his bathroom.
Yeah, see, what this is communicating to me is that this woman has been on multiple quote-unquote dates with dudes where she's had bedroom fun with them on the first night, and then she's also realized that he had a bunch of other women by going through all of the things in his bathroom. You see, this is what women do, guys. They go through all of your possessions, no longer private, right? Your private life, no longer private. This is why men don't talk to women and don't open up to them, by the way. So this woman goes out here, he has hookups with dudes, he goes through their bathrooms, and shock horror, the man is seeing other women at the same time. Right, because any man that this woman matches with on a dating application or who has interest, you know, she has interest in him, I guarantee you that guy has plenty of other options. Of course he does. And so these women, they always get upset about this. Oh, why are men always dating multiple women at the same time? Because you're all dating the same group of men. That is exactly why. And then they're like, oh, all men are cheaters, right? All men, they just use women. Yeah, the top percentage of men probably. They probably just have their fun and throw you away, because guess what? If you were actually worth keeping, then he would probably keep you.
And make sure the man is on time. It's just the most unattractive thing if a man shows up late. It's pretty easy to tell if a man is actually interested and wants to get to know you, or if he just is looking for a one-night stand. So ladies, don't ignore the red flags. Bye.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Hang on a second. What do you mean a man keeps his secrets in the bathroom? How did you come to this conclusion? And more importantly, what are you expecting to find? Under my sink, I have some cleaning products, a few extra bars of soap, and a couple of extra rolls of toilet paper. The safe is where I keep my incriminating evidence, and that's locked up neat and tidy in my junk drawer where it's supposed to be, and no self-respecting man is gonna put his junk drawer in the bathroom because nosy little broads, such as yourself, will think a man's junk drawer is fair game for your meddling. And it's kinda messed up that the first thing you're going to do if going to a man's house is to invade his privacy in an attempt to collect some dirt. Let's just say the roles were reversed and the man decided to rummage through your personal property. You would feel violated and appalled. Then you'd put the guy on blast and then milk that moment of personal trauma for at least 3 videos. You can't help yourself. You're a modern woman. Internet validation is the only thing that sustains you in your empty life.
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
I got couples massages last night on the second date, and I have to say that is the weirdest second date I've ever been on. But 10 out of 10. Like, we walked in and he was like, by the way, we can't actually get a couples massage. We're in different rooms. And I was like, so you're just paying for me to get a massage?
Boy, there's no real easy way to say this, but, look, you're a simp.
No complaints here. Like, that is amazing. I got my massage. He then got me Jack in the Box, like lemonade, curly fries, and then we went back to his place and watched a movie, and I fell asleep 5 minutes later, woke up this morning. Honestly, 10 out of 10 days.
Nobody cares what you think.
Are you sure that was an actual date? Because from the sounds of it, this poor bastard just paid someone else to touch you while you were secluded in a different room, completely away from him, and then spent even more money on overpriced junk food than you passed out on his couch while not providing anything of any substance in return. And then to add insult to injury, the next day you dress up like a wannabe street harlot cosplayer to brag about it on the internet? This is why self-respecting men don't want to bother with dating anymore.
Yeah, this is exactly... Block took the words straight out of my mouth here, okay? This is why dudes don't want to date women. Is because they just go on the date, they use the guy for a bit of fun, and then they go out with the man that they're actually attracted to, and then they go get with him, right? And they make these, not every woman has one of these stupid TikTok accounts, okay? But for this woman specifically, this is why I don't know why any dude with any self-respect would date her. She's incredibly masculine. She gets on TikTok. She's trying to show herself off, clearly. And so... like girls like this, you will absolutely never make them happy because they need to get attention from other people all of the damn time. Right? They can't be happy with one dude. This guy could go out there, he could buy her the most expensive things of all time. I guarantee you she would still probably go out there and chase some other dude while she was with him. Right? Because there's the dude who provides everything, and then there's the dude in the picture who she's actually attracted to. Right? I have heard so many stories of, like, you know, women going out on dates, and then they'll go on dates and get free food from the guy that they're not attracted to, and then afterwards they just go to the man's house that they are attracted to, and he didn't have to date her at all. Right? And then they wonder why men are done with dating them.
Don't want to bother with dating anymore. Just listen to all of the garbage that you just listed. Why would any self-respecting man pay for that on a second date? Feel like that money would be better spent on groceries or lottery tickets, or just be mesmerized as he sits and watches it swirl down the toilet that he just flushed. At least those activities are either beneficial or at least at the bare minimum somewhat visually and intellectually stimulating. What are you offering besides being a useless parasite? Don't bother answering that, sweet cheeks. It was a rhetorical question.
People should start going and getting couples massages on the first or second date, because first, you see each other naked because you know you're getting undressed for that massage. Second of all, everyone likes a good massage. Third of all, you're relaxed. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. I will be seeing this guy again because A+ for creativity, A+ for food choices, because I love Jack in the Box, A+ for an amazing night.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hey woman, you spent more time talking about that date than the actual guy who paid for everything. You're droning on about how great it was that you got a free massage and free junk food, and you clearly want to see this guy again, not because he would make a suitable mate for you, but because you expect him to come up with unnecessarily outlandish date ideas. You're not dating the guy to get to know him and see if there's a chance for a romantic pair bond. It's just an excuse to use a man to entertain you, and he's getting virtually nothing in return for this except maybe some unenthusiastic bedroom fun after the 5th or 6th date. So why should he or any other self-respecting man bother with dating? One look at you and I can tell that you have zero personality, and you display your only assets of inherent value on the internet for the entire planet to witness. So what did this poor bastard get for his trouble? I'll tell you what, an empty wallet to match the empty head of the low-value chick for which he simped.
That's funny because it's so true.
The existence of single mothers completely destroys the facade of the whole women should just be mothers, they should stay home, it's their purpose, they shouldn't do anything else, because single mothers can't just be mothers. It's a full-time unpaid job. If a single mother wants to not work and stay home to be a mother full-time, she's a leech on society. If she gets child support, she's evil.
Correct! Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
They don't actually believe it's our only purpose to be a mother. They believe it's our only purpose to be dependent on them and not be able to leave.
I mean, here's the thing, genius. If you have a child with a man, you should not be leaving. Okay? Nobody is calling a stay-at-home mother who is still with the man a leech on society. Stay-at-home mothers who try and drain their ex-husbands or their ex-boyfriends for financial resources, those are a leech on society, and those are what we call thieves. I call them thieves, to be honest with you, because they don't deserve the money at all. A lot of this child support isn't even going towards the children, it's going towards the women. But, you know, if you're out here having a child, you shouldn't be leaving. You know, like, these people are so insane to me, man. They treat, like, children as though it's some sort of no big deal, some sort of decision that they make every single day, you know, some sort of casual decision. Children are a lifelong commitment. Okay, children are going to turn out way better if they're brought up in a two-parent household, a man and a woman. I don't care what you say. Okay, but so many of these women, they go out here, they have kids with some guy, and then they either kick him out of the family or he was a bad boy, so he doesn't want to actually take care of the kid. Usually it's the former, by the way, despite what they may say. And then they cry and complain. Right? This woman's... Listen to this. You shouldn't even be leaving the relationship in the first place. You have a child. Maybe have a little bit more common sense about who you open your legs to, genius.
Only purpose to be a mother. They believe it's our only purpose to be dependent on them and not be able to leave.
Women should stay home and make babies.
Well, there she is. Well, look at you, Agnes. You are wearing those glasses so you can pretend to be a smart. Well, those look awful and don't match your face, just make things worse. Well, now that we got the obligatory nice words out of the way, we can proceed to dismantle your sweeping generalizations with some basic logic. Now, Agnes, just because you're convinced that your uneducated assumptions are somehow factual, that doesn't make it so. You see, single mothers actually prove literally the exact opposite of what you're saying. If you took 30 seconds to do some basic statistical research, you'd find out that kids who grow up without a father are more likely to end up worse from a developmental and even sometimes a legal standpoint. There's a reason why it's called fatherless behavior, after all, Agnes. Kids who grow up with both parents tend to do better on the societal scale, but I get it. Recognizing the importance of a two-parent household is too hard for your little brain brain to comprehend because you're a barren feminist. You're incapable of focusing on the well-being of the children, only on the mother of those children.
If it was actually the position of Republicans and like this loser Chiefs kicker guy that women should just be mothers because that is our purpose, then pay us for being mothers. Because we didn't set up this system that requires exchanging labor for money and money for shelter and food, but we...
I mean, here's my counter offer. If you don't want to be a mother, don't have a kid. This woman's IQ is so incredibly low, it actually hurts my brain, man. These are the people who they'll go out there, they'll make a decision, then they'll blame somebody else for the decision, then they'll complain about the consequences. It is absolutely amazing. Nobody is forcing you to be a mother. Nobody is, making you go through with this. If you go out there and you have a kid with a man, that was your own damn choice. And don't give me this whole, oh, he should have wore protection. You can tell if the man's wearing protection or not. You can't tell if the woman is necessarily on protection, okay? Use your damn common sense. Actually crazy how little responsibility these people take for their own decisions. It disgusts me. It actually is genuinely disgusting. These poor children, man. I don't care about women like this, right? Yeah, they disgust me, but hey, go out there and do you. The people that I really feel sorry for in this particular situation are the children, right? And the man if he got tricked or if he got his kids taken away. But usually it's the men and the children. Particularly the children, right? Because the kids don't choose to sign up for this. They just get thrown into a world with a terrible mother and no father, right? It's very, very unfortunate. And it's a rough thing for them to go through.
We are people and we need shelter and food, so our two options are work outside the home, get a paycheck to pay for shelter and food, or be completely dependent on a man while providing free labor. Very interesting that men very rarely choose the option of being completely dependent on a woman for money, shelter, and food. The only way for a woman to...
Do you know why men are not dependent on women for money, shelter, and food? Is because women never provide these things on a long-term scale for men. Men don't get provided for. This is not how the world works. Okay, men. There's like a joke, and there's even a joke in like things like Rick and Morty, man, where like, men are not pretty women. Okay, we can't just go set up our lives in somebody else's. Right? The reason why men don't get provided for is because people don't provide for men. You have to go out there, you have to make it on your own, you have to look after yourself. No woman is going to come and save you, pay your rent, buy your groceries, and look after you. This is something that's afforded to women, not men. The reason why men are not out here doing this is because they literally cannot. Right? Some like really attractive guy, yeah, he might get like a sugar mother or something like this. But, even that's probably not going to last, okay? Because women don't provide for men. That's not how that works. This woman is so damn clueless.
To just be a mother is to fully depend on a man who can and do opt out of that responsibility at any time. It's just so disingenuous. Like, we're not stupid.
You are made of stupid.
Oh, Agnes, you goofy, smooth-brained koala bear. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and it would be adorable if you weren't so pathetic. Allow me to educate you. There are plenty of men out there who are stay-at-home dads where their wives are the sole breadwinners of the household. They take care of the house, make dinner, watch over the kids, do the laundry, and all those other pesky forms of unpaid labor with which you love to complain, and there isn't a single one of them out there who demand financial compensation for doing that kind of work.
And also the men who do this sort of thing, usually the women that they're with don't respect them, right? So even if a dude is getting provided for, which, I'm sure there are stay-at-home fathers, right? But these situations are very few and far between. And even if they do exist, the woman typically doesn't respect the man, and she's usually out there cheating on him, right? Because here's the thing, if a dude's not providing something, if he's not caring for the woman typically doesn't like him, doesn't respect him, and doesn't want to be with him. Okay, this is why, stay-at-home fathers are far less common, is because men are still expected to provide and to take care of women. This is exactly why. If you think, guys, this is why so many women, right, if they out-earn their partner, they'll just ditch them, right? They won't date dudes on a long term who earn less money than them. You guys think that women are out here, marrying men who earn less money than them? Yeah, there might be some, but really it's not happening too often, okay? This is why I say, guys, when I talk about these sorts of things on the channel, men are expected to provide something, and if they don't, they just don't even get chosen in the first place. They straight up don't. Men are expected to provide financial resources, they're expected to provide protection, all of these sorts of things, and if they don't, and if you're not attractive, then, you're just going to be completely ignored by women. Women, on the other hand, it doesn't function like this whatsoever.
It's called parenting for a reason. And regardless of whether or not he complains, there is a chance that his wife won't respect him for doing the unpaid labor as she goes off to work to financially support the household.
Exactly, right? Locke is dead on with this. Okay? Even if you have like a stay-at-home father who looks after the kids and then the woman's out there working, chances are she's going to treat him like trash and she's not going to respect him.
Hopefully those glasses will help you see where I'm getting at, Agnes. If the man is providing the home, the income, the protection, and quality of life for his wife and kids, then he's a soulless bastard because he won't pay for the 4 hours of stay-at-home duties the wife does. But if he stays at home while the wife works, then he's a useless freeloader who makes his wife earn the money, which means that you just want the man to give you money because you exist, which doesn't work for us, Agnes. You're already giving us a migraine, and why in the hell should we have to pay you for that particular privilege?
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing about this is? All of these women complaining about being free labor. Number one, the labor is not that damn hard. You know, cleaning house and things like this, right? Looking after an infant, yeah, I can understand that. But let me just make this absolutely clear. It would probably be cheaper for the man to actually go out there and to pay for these services than to either have you in the house, period, or to pay you for the services. Okay? If a guy goes out here and he's financially well off to pay someone to make food for him and pay a nanny and this sort of thing, honestly, he would probably save money rather than having the women do it. Right? Like, because the work is not, I'm sorry, but it's really not that damn hard, especially like the domestic chores. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.